Good morning students, welcome to science class. Today we are going to revise the third lesson, matter around us. So listen carefully students. This revision helps you to prepare for the examinations. Make a note of important points. Okay, let's start the revision. Today we are going to learn about to understand molecules of elements and compounds, to recognize the symbols of common elements, able to calculate atomicity of commonly used elements, to recognize the occurrences of elements and compounds in nature and human body and air, to understand the effects of temperature on solid, liquid and gas. Tell me students, what is matter? Matter is anything that has mass and takes up space. Matter is anything that has mass and takes up space. All the matter is composed of tiny particles called atom. All the matter is composed of tiny particles called atom. Atom is basic unit of matter. Atom is a basic unit of matter, made of subatomic particles. What are they? Proton, neutron and electron. Proton, neutron and electron. They are called subatomic particles. In center is called nucleus. Proton and neutron is present in the nucleus. Electrons are negatively charged. Proton positively charged. Neutron, there is a neutral charge. So basic unit of matter is called atom. Subatomic particles are proton, neutron and electron. What is molecule? A molecule is a group of two or more chemically bonded atoms. What is molecule? A molecule is a group of two or more chemically bonded atoms. The two or more atoms joined together can be the same element or different elements. The two or more atoms joined together can be the same element or different elements. Example, molecule of water, molecule of oxygen. Example, if same element means the two oxygen and one more oxygen to form ozone. Different elements means water molecule. Two hydrogen atoms chemically bonded with the oxygen atom to form water molecule. Two hydrogen atom join with one oxygen atom to form water molecule. Molecules can be classified as follow. A molecule which contains only one atom is called monoatomic molecule. That is inert gases. Example, argon, neon, krypton. A molecule which contains only one atom is called monoatomic molecule. Second point, a molecule which contains two atoms is called diatomic molecule. A molecule which contains two atoms is called diatomic molecule. Example, oxygen, nitric oxide, hydrogen, etc. Third point, a molecule containing three atoms is called a triatomic molecule. A molecule containing three atoms is called a triatomic molecule. Example, ozone, sulfur dioxide, carbon dioxide, etc. Last point, a molecule containing more than three atoms are known as polyatomic molecule. A molecule containing more than three atoms are known as polyatomic molecule. Example, phosphate, sulfur, etc. Shall we see molecules of elements? A molecule of an element consists of a fixed number of one types of atom chemically combined. A molecule of an element consists of a fixed number of one types of atom chemically combined. Example, let's see the molecule diagram. This is chlorine gas, same atom. one type of atom. Oxygen gas, this one is nitrogen gas. Here they are given ball and stick model, that is molecular model. Chlorine molecule, oxygen molecule and nitrogen molecule. Fixed number of one type of atoms chemically combined. Next we will see molecules of compounds. Molecule of a compound consists of a fixed number of different types of atoms chemically combined. Molecule of a compound consists of a fixed number of different types of atoms chemically combined. Example, carbon combined with the two oxygen atoms. Carbon combined with the two oxygen atoms. That is carbon dioxide is a compound. Nitrogen combined with the three hydrogen atoms, that is ammonia is a compound. Like that hydrogen chloride. They are given molecular model here. So examples are carbon dioxide, ammonia and hydrogen chloride. Next we are going to learn about classification of matter. Matter is classified into two broad categories, namely pure substances and mixtures. Pure substances are further divided into categories as elements and compounds. We will see one by one. What is the element? Matter in its simplest form is called an element. Matter in its simplest form is called an element. We are using many elements in our daily life. The common salt is consisting of elements of sodium and chloride. That is sodium chloride. We are using sodium chloride as a common salt. The common salt is consisting of elements of sodium and chlorine. Water consists of hydrogen and oxygen, H2O. Water consists of hydrogen and oxygen. Sulfur is used as manure in agriculture. Gallium is used for making mobile phones and silicon is used for making computer chips. Gallium is used for making mobile phones and silicon is used for making computer chips. Magnesium and phosphorus used for making crackers. There are different types of elements. What are they? Metals, non-metals and metalloids. First one metals, second one non-metals, third one metalloids. Example for metals, iron and gold. Example for non-metals, coal and wood. Examples of non-metals, coal and wood. Examples of metalloids, silicon, germanium and arsenic. Let's see first one, metals. Elements that are malleable, that is a material may be flattened into thin sheets or various shapes, is called as metals. Elements that are malleable is called as metals. We can deform these materials into various shapes. Listen students, we can deform these materials into various shapes. Metals are generally hard and shiny elements. Sodium is one of the exceptions as it is soft. All metals except mercury are solids at room temperature. All metals are solid at room temperature. Mercury is the only metal that is liquid at room temperature. They can be drawn into wires. Metals can be drawn into wires. Metals are good conductors of heat and electricity. Example, copper wire, lead, tin, nickel, steel and zinc. Next, we are going to learn about non-metals. Non-metals are generally dull and soft. Non-metals are generally dull and soft. Non-metals such as carbon, iodine, sulfur and phosphorus are solids at room temperature. Non-metals such as carbon, iodine, sulfur and phosphorus are solids at room temperature. Bromine is the only non-metal that is liquid at room temperature. Bromine is the only non-metal that is liquid at room temperature. Non-metals are poor conductors of heat and electricity. Non-metals are poor conductors of heat and electricity. However, graphite is a good conductor of electricity. What is graphite? A form of the non-metal carbon. Examples of non-metals are sulfur, phosphorus, carbon and bromine. Sulfur, phosphorus, carbon and bromine. Shall we see the difference between metals and non-metals? Difference between metals and non-metals. Metals are lustrous. They have a shiny surface. Non-metals are non-lustrous. They have non-shiny surface. Metals are generally hard. Non-metals are generally soft. Most metals are bendable. Non-metals are non-bendable. Most metals can be bent, beaten into sheets and they can drawn into wires. Non-metals are non-ductile. Most metals are good conductors of electricity. Non-metals are bad conductors of electricity. Most metals are good conductors of heat. Non-metals are bad conductors of heat. Most metals are making ringing sound when struck. Hence, they are used to make objects like bells. Non-metals does not make any sound when they struck. Now, we are going to learn about metalloids. Metalloids exhibit the properties of both metals and non-metals. Metalloids exhibit the properties of both metals and non-metals. Silicon, arsenic, antimony and boron are some examples of metalloids. Silicon, arsenic, antimony and boron are some examples of metalloids. Next, we will learn about compounds. A compound is a pure substance that is formed when the atoms of two or more elements combine chemically in definite proportions. A compound is a pure substance that is formed when the atoms of two or more elements combine chemically in definite proportions. Compounds exhibit properties entirely different from the properties of their constituent elements. Compounds exhibit properties entirely different from the properties of their constituent elements. Example, sodium chloride. Sodium is a highly reactive solid at room temperature. It burns vigorously when in contact with water. Sodium burns vigorously when in contact with water. Chlorine is yellowish green poisonous gas at room temperature. Chlorine is yellowish green poisonous gas at room temperature, but it is both chemically combined to form sodium chloride used for cooking. The separate sodium atom and chlorine gas chemically combine to form sodium chloride used for cooking. Like that, table salt. Sodium and chlorine is called table salt. Sugar, carbon, hydrogen and oxygen present in sugar. Chalk, calcium, carbon and oxygen. Calcium, carbon and oxygen are present in chalk powder. These are called compounds. Example for compounds. Let's see properties of compounds. A compound is formed only when the constituent elements combine in a fixed proportion. The properties of a compound are different from those of its constituent elements. A compound cannot be broken down by physical methods. A compound cannot be broken down by physical methods. This is because a compound is made up of different elements that are chemically combined. This is because a compound is made up of different elements that are chemically combined. Sodium chloride cannot be separated by physical methods such as filtration. A compound can be separated into its constituent elements by chemical methods only. A compound can be separated into its constituent elements by chemical methods only. Now, we will learn about difference between an element and a compound. An element is the simplest substance. A compound is a chemical substance formed by the combination of two or more elements. Elements combine to form compounds. Compounds can be split into elements. Atoms are the fundamental particle of an element. Molecules are the fundamental particles of a compound. Now we are going to study about symbol of an element. A symbol is an abbreviation or short representation of a chemical element. A symbol is an abbreviation or short representation of a chemical element. There is a unique symbol for each element. It represents one atom of the element. These symbols are allocated by the International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry, that is IUPAC. These symbols are allocated by the International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. Dalton was the first scientist to use the symbols for elements in a very specific sense. Dalton was the first scientist to use the symbols for elements in a very specific sense. The following rules are followed while assigning symbol to an element. Chemical symbols usually consist of one or two letters. Chemical symbols usually consist of one or two letters. The symbols of most elements correspond to the first letter, which is capitalized, of their English name. For example, the symbol for oxygen is O and that for hydrogen is H. Both are capitalized. Elements represented by single letter symbols. Hydrogen, fluorine, oxygen, carbon are the elements represented by single letter. Hydrogen represented by capital H, fluorine capital F, oxygen capital O, carbon capital C. Some symbols take two letters. The first letter is capitalized while the second letter has a lower case. Example, aluminium represented by capital A and small l. Argon capital A and small r. Arsenic capital A and small s. Barium capital B and small a. Like that, nickel capital N and small I. Bromine capital B and small r. These are the symbols take two letters. The symbols for some elements are derived from their Latin names. Example, copper Latin name is cuprum. Symbol is capital C and small u. Lead Latin name is plumbum, represented by capital P and small b. Potassium Latin name is kalium, represented by capital K. Iron Latin name is ferrum, so the symbol is capital F and small e. Mercury Latin name is hydrargyrum, so the symbol is capital H and small g. Sodium Latin name is natrium, so capital N and small a. Now we are going to study about chemical formulae. The chemical formula tells us the types of atoms and the number of each type of atom in one molecule of substance. The chemical formula tells us the types of atoms and the number of each type of atom in one molecule of substance. Example, water. The chemical formula is H2O. Here, the small number beside the hydrogen symbol is called subscript. It tells us the number of atoms that element present in the molecule. So here the nearby hydrogen is 2. So the 2 hydrogen atoms in water molecule. When there is no number of besides oxygen symbol, that is O symbol, it means that there is only one atom of that element present in the molecule. Yes, only one oxygen atom present in the water molecule. Here are some examples of chemical formula. Sodium chloride. Chemical formula is capital N, small a, C and small l. One atom of sodium and one atom of chlorine. The subscript is, there is 1. Next, ammonia, NH3. There is one atom of nitrogen and 3 atoms of hydrogen. Let's see some common compounds and their chemical formulae. Water represented by H2O. C6H12O6. Common compound is glucose. Glucose is represented, the formula is C6H12 and O6. That is 6 carbon atom, 12 hydrogen atom and 6 oxygen atom. Sodium chloride, 1 sodium and 1 chlorine atom. Ethanol C2H6O, that is 2 carbon atom, 6 hydrogen atom and 1 oxygen atom. Ammonia, 1 nitrogen atom and 3 hydrogen atom, NH3. Sulfuric acid, chemical formula is H2SO4, 2 hydrogen atom, 1 sulfur atom, 4 oxygen atom. Methane, CH4, 1 carbon atom and 4 hydrogen atom. Sucrose, represented by C12H22O11, that is 12 carbon atoms, 22 hydrogen atoms, 11 oxygen atoms present in sucrose molecule. Next, we are going to learn about atomicity. In chemistry, we usually understand atomicity to imply the total number of atoms present in one molecule of an element, compound or a substance. Total number of atoms present in one molecule of an element, compound or a substance. For example, oxygen exists as a diatomic molecule, which means that a molecule of oxygen contains 2 atoms, hence its atomicity is 2. Listen, one oxygen atom plus another oxygen atom gives O2, that is oxygen molecule. The atomicity is 2. Yes, the subscript here 2, so that there is 2 oxygen atom present. Let's see another example. One molecule of water contains 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen. The atomicity of water is 3. 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom. So 2 plus 1, the atomicity of water is 3. For molecule containing more than one type of atoms, simply count the number of each atom and that would be its atomicity. For example, a molecule of sulfuric acid H2SO4 consists of 2 hydrogen atom, 1 sulfur atom and 4 oxygen atoms. Hence, its atomicity is 2 plus 1 plus 4 is equal to 7. Atomicity is 7. 2 hydrogen atom plus 1 sulfur atom plus 4 oxygen atoms is equal to 7. Next, we are going to learn about elements in human body. Nearly 99% of the mass of our human body consists of just 6 chemical elements. That they are oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, calcium and phosphorus. Once again I repeat, nearly 99% of the mass of our human body consists of just 6 chemical elements. They are oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, calcium and phosphorus. Another 5 elements make up most of the least percentage point. They are potassium, sulfur, sodium, chlorine and magnesium. Next, we will see elements in air. Air is a mixture of gases. Air is a mixture of gases. The molecules of 2 different elements, nitrogen and oxygen, make up about 99% of the air. So the 99% of the air contains nitrogen and oxygen. The rest includes small amounts of argon and carbon dioxide. Oxygen is the life-giving element in the air. Oxygen is the life-giving element in the air. Next, we will see effect of temperature on solid, liquid and gas. That is, if you are applying heat on solid, liquid and gas, expansion and contraction will take place. When substances expand or contract, the particles stay the same size. Only the spaces between the particles changes. Only the spaces between the particles changes. The particles in the solid vibrate more when it is heated. Thus takes up more room. That is expansion. The particles in the solid vibrate more when it is heated. Thus take up more room. That is expansion. Similar to liquid and gases when heated. So on heating, solid, liquid and gas will expand. The change in the state of matter occurs during melting, boiling and freezing and condensation. The change in the states of matter occurs during melting, boiling and freezing and condensation. We will see first solid. When solid is heated, the particles gain energy and vibrate more vigorously. When solid is heated, the particles gain energy and vibrate more vigorously. Second, liquid. Melting occurs when the melting point is reached. The solid changes to its liquid state. Melting occurs when the melting point is reached. The solid changes to its liquid state. When a liquid is heated, the particles gain energy and vibrate more vigorously. When a liquid is heated, the particles gain energy and vibrate more vigorously. Third one, gas. Boiling occurs when the boiling point is reached. Boiling occurs when the boiling point is reached. The liquid changes to its gaseous state. The liquid changes to its gaseous state. Okay students, I hope you are all understood the revision of third lesson, matter around us. It's time for evaluation. Be ready students. Answer the following questions. First question, write the chemical formula and name the elements present in the following compounds. First one sodium chloride, second one potassium hydroxide, third one carbon dioxide, fourth one calcium oxide, fifth one sulfur dioxide. You want to write the chemical formula and name of the element. Second one, define molecule. Third question, give an example for the elements derived from their Latin names. Fourth question, what is atomicity of elements? Fifth question, differentiate between elements and compounds. Okay students, with this video, term 1 portions are completed. Let's begin with term 2 in our next session. Study well. Thank you.